What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to RealTime Fantasy Sports Best Ball Draft live stream. I'm Howard Bender, and we are drafting once again in a Beat Howard Bender league. For those of you who don't know, there's tight end premium. It's $20 entry, $10,000 grand prize. And every week I keep live streaming some of these drafts, talking some strategy with you guys. Today, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to put the Fantasy Alarm Best Ball cheat sheet to the test. Shout out to my boy Andrew Cooper, who does this. I mean, listen, it's a draft tool that I always like to use. I use them in a lot of my season-long drafts. I have not yet used one here for a best ball, especially a tight end premium best ball, because I'm going to have to kind of shift up maybe some tight ends as we go through this. So I want to thank everybody for joining us here. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, or if you're watching on my at RotoBuzz guy message, thank you so much for Twitter handle. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate that. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button, and then you know what? Hit the subscribe button too. Never miss a show here at RTSports.com. Jeff Power does some amazing videos to carry you guys through, and so I hope you enjoy it. Now, to go through it today with the best ball cheat sheet, I'm going to be crossing off names. I'm probably not going to be doing like as much running commentary as I was before, really trying to like jam a whole lot in there. And it was tough to do, but I'm going to do my best here to cross off names on the cheat sheet as we go through and bring this to you guys. And hopefully you learn something. Hopefully you learn, hey, that best ball cheat sheet's pretty damn good. I'm going to want to use one of those for, myself, my own use here. Or you could be like, wow, Bender's strategy should have just, gone with what he did in the past as opposed to using a cheat sheet. Either way, you're going to get all sorts of information here tonight. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Let me pull up the draft board. This draft has already gotten underway, and I'm going to throw it in here. And we're going to go with this look tonight. Listen, pretty chalky as far as the first several picks. What I've got to do is now I've got to kind of cross them off. So as I'm getting ready to kind of cross everybody off, let me give a shout out to everybody who's in tonight's draft. And first and foremost, say, what's up, Roger Bauer? Necessary Roughness. I believe you were in the first one of these that we did. Timmy Football, he takes Jahmyr Gibbs at number 2. Love that pick. Brent Campbell. Brent, what are you doing with the team name, dude? What do you do with the team name? It almost offends me. It makes me a little uncomfortable. I thought we were boys, Brett. I thought we were boys, and all of a sudden, the anti-Bender team name, so hurtful. Better Bent, taking Puka Nakua there. Cross that name off. You play to win. Love that. Jackson Smith and Jigba, get him off that board. My good man, Dogman 12, Pete Doggett. I've talked to him a bunch on the old social medias. He takes Christian McCaffrey. So welcome to the club there. Diane Langston. What's up, Diane? She told me she was coming. She didn't tell me she was taking Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that kind of hurts my feelings a little bit, but that's okay. That's all right. Tremendous machine. Joe Jacoby back for more. Let's go, Jacoby. You and me, buddy. He was last year's winner of the best ball tournament. So got to shout him out. Got to give him a little, put a little respect on that name, right? Put a little respect on it. So let me, he takes Tremendous Machine takes Jonathan Taylor. Joe Jacoby takes Ashton Genty. And you know what? I mean, that doesn't surprise me in the least. And so it comes up to me here with my pick. And if I'm looking at the cheat sheet here on back-to-back picks, I'm supposed to be looking at CeeDee Lamb, James Cook, and Omarion Hampton. So I don't really feel like it's going to be too tough of a choice for me as to which way I decide to go here. I think you all know me well enough to say that Omarion Hampton is definitely going to be one of my picks here. I'm just so bullish on the Chargers here. So I'm going to take him. And now the question is do I want an elite receiver like CeeDee Lamb? Do I want to turn around and, take running backs? Normally I take running backs all the time. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to mix it up here. Cheat sheet says these guys are in the same tier. I am going to look at CeeDee Lamb for this pick here. Who knows? Maybe I think about making Jim Bowden a Fantasy Alarm super happy and doing some sort of a Dallas stack here. I don't know. Probably not. That kind of makes my skin crawl. But I'm going along with the cheat sheet here. And so far, one round in, I got no complaints right now. I think it's all all rock solid here and set. For those of you who don't know what this cheat sheet is, it does have a grid, which I can't show you because I know that people, do screenshots and stuff like that. But it breaks down every round into 2 halves. First half of the round, then the second half of the round. So 1A is the first 6 picks of the 12-teamer, and 1B is the 6 picks of the back end 6 picks of a round. Our ideal round. And the trick is you take the players, as you see them right there, and then you build your roster beyond that. Later on in the draft, I'll be looking at the cheat sheet and I'll be like, all right, I don't need a tight end here, so I'm going to take this guy. And I'm going to take this other position because I'm bulked up over here as well. That's how you're building up the team, and you're being sensible with your target. So shout out to the cheat sheet. You guys can hit me up at RotoBuzzGuy if you are interested in acquiring a copy of this magnificent, delicious thing. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue to cross names off the list. Say goodbye to James Cook, who I was considering. I probably, if I'm going to want to diversify my portfolio a little bit, I was probably better off taking James Cook than Omarion Hampton because I already have a ton of shares of Hampton, but I got to get my early digs in on him and lock him down, make sure I have him, because once we start training camp and you guys start seeing what Mike McDaniel is doing to this offense for the Chargers, you're going to be all in on that Omarion Hampton. Then I'm never going to get him. So I might as well do that right now. So James Cook goes off. That clears out the top 12 picks here. And then we got Jefferson and Achane. They're both in this tier as well. So everybody seems to be going sensible, chalky chalk. And there we go, Trey McBride. Because this is tight end premium, this pick is allowed. Trey McBride is one of those tight ends who sees enough targets on the regular plus red zone looks in order to make tight end premium that much better. If you're looking for like a mid-tier tight end who just kind of chases touchdowns, doesn't really do a whole lot of, receiving, not a lot of receptions there, then maybe that tight end premium, isn't as impactful, and maybe you don't need to, over elevate one of those guys. But Trey McBride definitely works in this environment here. Chase Brown comes off the board. Kenneth Walker, I love that, Kenneth Walker coming off the board. Saquon Barkley coming off the board there, and Jeremiah Love. So already looking, and there could be some value. I mean, by the time it gets back to me, it's going to be a long ordeal. So I might as well take this opportunity here to go and check out the chat room here. I could say, Victor Swenson, what's up? Thank you for telling me that I'm looking good. You're looking good too. Appreciate that. Pull in front. Howard, you should do a Beat Bender Draft Masters auction. Baby, I would love to do an auction. I really, really would. I'll look into that. I'll definitely do like a Beat Bender, carve out some time for it. Obviously the auction drafts just take forever. Maybe it's just do it as a single league. Maybe I do like, members of the Fantasy Alarm family and the RTSports family, and we do like a combined league, and we just do it as an auction. I think that would be actually a really, really cool thing to do. Kyle Ziegler turning around saying, what's up, Howard? What's up, Kyle Ziegler? I'm allowed to put these comments up, aren't I? I probably should put these comments up just so that everybody can see them here. Ooh, look at me. I just got boosted up on the image. What's up, Howard? You like the Chargers offenses? Are you trying to stack them if you can? I have done that. I'm not going to lie. I've done it with Omarion Hampton, Ladd McConkey, and whatchamacallit, and Justin Herbert. I did a 4-stack where I included David Njoku in there. I did another 4-stack where it was Quentin Johnston was the extra guy in there. So I do like what's going on there. Johnston and Harris, Trey Harris, those are the 2 guys who are going to be fighting the most, I think. I'm hoping that the tight end 1 emerges from camp, whether it's going to be Gadsden or Njoku. my money is kind of on the Njoku side, simply because he's, the veteran, rock solid all around. Gadsden, they don't need to. They obviously see flaws in Gadsden's game because Charlie Kohler was signed as the inline blocking tight end. They see flaws in Gadsden's game. He was a 5th round pick, so bring in a guy like Njoku and just kind of see where that goes. So it should be a nice tight end combination to watch, and a good battle for this year for sure. I need to cross off some names off of my cheat sheet here, if y'all don't mind. I don't think you do. Brock Bowers comes off the board. Nico Collins. I love Nico. I really do. I feel like everybody gets down on Nico because they don't like Stroud, and I'm not down with that. Drake London off the board. AJ Brown, Patriots finest. Listen, I like the move, Brent. I definitely like the move. I think there's going to be some really nice value there in AJ Brown. And you know what? 3rd rounder in this league. He's kind of, I think if we're pushing him up towards like Jefferson and Lamb, I think that might be. But if the fact that you've got Nico Collins and Drake London sort of separating that, I might even consider George Pickens ahead of him. But that's really where I kind of draw the line. I think that's a really good spot for where you got him. So dig that. George Pickens off the board. Oh, Javonte Williams. If you're looking for this year's Javonte Williams, it might actually be Javonte Williams. I'm just saying. It actually could be. I'm a big fan there. I'm a big fan. I mean, listen, this dude just gets all the touches. He just gets all the touches, and they just signed him for a 3-year deal. So it's not like they're going to turn around and be like, nah. I mean, maybe Jadon Blue, if he develops, maybe he becomes, like a complimentary back. He spells him every once in a while. But Javonte Williams, I think this dude's going to get mad touches for sure. All right, Joe Jacoby's on the clock. It's going to put me into it here. Let's see where I want to lean with this one. All right, so he takes Breece Hall, and I'm okay with that. I like that. Now, for me, I'm going to need another running back, so I have to take a look at the names here on the board are Etienne, Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, kind of floating around there. On the receiving side, Malik Neighbors, who everybody's scared of, Devontae Smith, who I really like. And then you got Zay Flowers, maybe Rashee Rice. But here's the interesting one there also. What about because it's tight end premium, and only because it's tight end premium, I actually don't have any shares of him right now. So I'm just going to lock in Colston Loveland. Technically, he could have been the first pick of the 4th round. Either way, Colston Loveland in tight end premium wasn't coming back to me at this spot here. So that's where I'm going to go there. I think, what do I want more of? Do I want that wide receiver, or do I want that? I think I kind of want the running back, because it's going to dry up pretty quickly as far as that goes. So let me go to, where is he? Where is Travis Etienne? Why don't I see him here? What's going on? There he is. There he is. All right. Apologies for the wait, but there it goes. Made my pick. I like Etienne. I'm trying so hard to pronounce his name the way he wants it. It's like it's Etienne, but like you want to slap a little Cajun on it, right? So it's Etienne. And I'm probably going to do that, and it's going to sound really dumb and stupid. And then all of a sudden, sometime around like week 2 or week 3 of the regular season, you guys are all going to be like, remember when Bender taught us all how to say his name properly? And look at the smile on his face. And he's having a career year because Bender started this, grassroots campaign to really actually pronounce his name the way he wants it. I personally don't care. I honestly don't care. I like the situation here. I don't think that he is that clear running back that you want running between the tackles. That's kind of my hang up. I think they're going to part ways in some, if they can, with Alvin Kamara. I think. I would be very hard pressed to see Etienne and Kamara coming out of the same backfield. But then again, there's no clear cut guy to go between the tackles. That's one of those two. So I'm very concerned as to what that is. If they do turn around and they get rid of Kamara, which again they should, then maybe I think they still have Audric Estime as a potential north-south type runner. It's nobody spectacular. It's nobody that we really want to. Oh, Devin Neal. That's what it was. Devin Neal. Yeah, there's another guy. I mean, maybe if he stays healthy. You can't rely on Kendry Miller for that. So going to be interesting just simply because this is what Kellen Moore's scheme does. He likes the power run, likes to use the run to set up the pass and get the downfield work going. So Etienne doesn't really profile as that guy, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we see a little something different there, out of him this year. But I'm going to grab him because Coop is apparently very high on him, and why not? And then my first share of Colston Loveland, especially in tight end premium. I love what we're seeing here. All right, let me cross some more names off the list. Kyron Williams, he's gone. Devonta Smith, Josh Jacobs, and Cam Scatterbo. Devonta Smith, Josh Jacobs. Is that too early for Scatterbo? I don't know. Shout out to that $50,000 diamond encrusted 8x8 grill that he made for himself. I don't understand that. It's just it's a fine look on people who look good with that, but he's kind of a weird looking dude to begin with this square block head, and he's got that grill and it's like a fancy grill too. It's not like it's got some sparkle. I just don't think it's a good look for him. I don't indeed. All right, crossing more names off the list. Look at Darian Price. Get him going over there. That's interesting. Because I would probably take him over this. Somebody remind me. I'm gonna have to do this in like a different color right here, so I can tell Coop what we're looking at. We might need to make a couple of changes here, just based on ADP and thoughts. I haven't gotten all of Coop's decision making on there. David Montgomery. Emeka Egbuka, really good discussion on today's Fantasy Alarm Show with Andrew Cooper. The separation in ADP for Emeka Egbuka and Chris Godwin is, it's borderline criminal. I'm not gonna lie, it really is. Egbuka struggled when he was working that split end role. And that's where you're going to have Zach Robinson's a 3 receiver guy. So you're going to have the big split end. You're going to have the slot receiver. You're going to have the Z. So, Godwin is the guy who can play the outside in a 2 receiver set and then move into the slot. Maybe they try that with Egbuka a little bit and they move him in and out of the slot too. If they move both of them, I don't really feel like that's going to work entirely. But even if you put these guys as not that far apart, the ADP is crazy. Let's see where Godwin goes in this draft. I just think it's kind of nutty. It's really kind of nutty. Let me cross some names off here, so by the time it is my turn, I can just make my picks fairly quickly. Teteroa, McMillan. I like that. Jameson Williams. Okay. Tyler Warren off the board. He is an acceptable tight end premium. Push him up a little bit. Zay Flowers and T. Higgins. Cross them off the cheat sheet here. DJ Moore. Lad McConkatonk, but donk. So love that pick. And again, you're going to see him on the team, he's going to be on the field like 95% of the time, I feel like. He's going to be the receiver that's going to benefit the absolute most. So Bayshall Tootin, and then we get to see what Joe Jacoby is looking to do. I got 2 running backs. I got my wide receiver. Oh, look, Garrett Wilson off the board. All right. I'll tell you what, this puts me in a really interesting spot. I'll take the guys that are sitting in the at the top of this cheat sheet because I don't have an argument against either one of them. One of them, though, is they both have some of their controversial aspects to them here. So let me turn around and say that the first guy on the list to take is none other than Rashee Rice, biggest troublemaker out there. And then the other wide receiver who's right there next to him in this cheat sheet, ladies and gentlemen, it's Luther Burden. So I'm going to do it. I mean, listen, I know Rashee Rice is talented. I hate problem guys like this, though. I really do. But, you're doing a best ball tournament. You got to swing for the fences. You got to go for the upside. And sometimes you just have to embrace the idiot troublemaker. Fingers crossed that he's not getting suspended, which I don't think he is. And then you go from there. Luther Burden, obviously he's emerging. I always make jokes about big fantasy, when big fantasy's pushing a guy on you. For years, big fantasy was like Corey Davis is going to be the most amazing wide receiver. Who else is they put? Rashad Penny's going to be the most amazing running back ever, right? In big fantasy, they lock onto some of these guys, and these guys just never turn out. They never develop. And, like Luther Burden is a guy that big fantasy has been pushing now for 2 years, and I kind of agree with them this year. You're looking at, the way Ben Johnson's offense is set up. Luther Burden is in an absolutely spectacular spot. You've got, Roma Dunze, who's going to be the X. He's going to take care of the deeper stuff. Burden, they're going to look to him for yards after the catch. They're going to look to him. It's like, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in Tampa Bay. That's what you're going to have here with Roma Dunze and Luther Burden. So that's kind of the roles that you're looking at for him here. And it's interesting that Roma Dunze is still on the board right now, and I take Luther Burden. That's just, again, I'm trying to test this cheat sheet out for Coop and tell him what I think as far as, whether or not I agree with, some of the picks. I'm marking some guys in like a little red highlight here on the spreadsheet, just so I can say, this is kind of an interesting one. You play to win just took Roma Dunze off the board. I think it's a great pick. I think it's a smart pick. I think a lot of people are, blowing up here on the foot. I think he's going to be just fine. So I'm ready to go with that. Marking names off. Terry McLaurin comes off the board. DeAndre Swift comes off the board. Fannin and Pitts. I'm okay with that. Listen, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Fannin and Cleveland. It's definitely going to be an interesting thing to see what happens. Trevion Henderson, he comes off the board. See, that's another one that I always sit and I watch. The disparity between Trevion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. I get it. Ramondre's a little older, but we haven't seen anything yet. And maybe this is one of the burning questions that we're going to have for the Patriots when we do that on the on Sirius XM is really, what is it going to take for Trevion Henderson? What are we looking for in training camp to think maybe Henderson is in a much better spot? I like it a lot. I really do. I think there's definite potential there. But, obviously, the pass blocking, not cutting it. Definitely needs to work on that. Should be a fun training camp, another one of those battles that you want to check out. Jalen Waddle off the board. I like that pick very much there. Oh, wait, no, it's Brent Campbell. Let's look at Brent's team here for a second. Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, David Montgomery, Tyler Warren, and Waddle. You know what? Every other pick I like. Every other pick I like. So I like Chase, I like Brown, I like Warren. I actually have to invest in Waddle. We had this conversation as far as when Jalen Waddle goes over to Denver and really how they're going to set everything up. What's Davis Webb going to do with this offensive scheme? Cortland Sutton as the X receiver, he's going to stay the X receiver. He's going to have that same role there, but they could be expanding, on the other side. They've tried Troy Franklin. They've tried Pat Bryant. They've tried Marvin Mims. They've looked for that guy who can be, that lock in during a 2-receiver set. And, you bring in Jalen Waddle, he ends up playing like that slot flanker role while Cortland Sutton handles the split end role. So, that kind of, you think about it, it's like JSN and Rashid Shaheed, right? That's the kind of the split there that you're looking at, that, Jamar Chase and T Higgins, we've got that first guy who plays that slot flanker role is actually the primary target on the team. And it isn't actually the big split end. So it's just something to pay attention to with that. Let me continue to cross names off the list here. I see Devontae Adams is off. I see my boy Chuba Hubbard. I am not afraid of Jonathan Brooks. Let me just say that. I'm not afraid. Bucky Irving comes off the board. J.K. Dobbins is off the board. Where are you, J.K.? Where are you? He's got him all the way down there. Coop doesn't like the older guys. He's very much an upside young guy kind of player here. Lamar Jackson off the board. Joe Burrow off the board as well. And then Mike Evans. I love me some Mike Evans. Was talking about him earlier, right? I think he has a good, new life born unto him with this move to San Francisco. He's going to be the primary guy. He is easily the number one target. Easily the number one target. Let the rest of them sort it out, and let the rest of them try to establish themselves before George Kittle is 100% ready to come back, and then George Kittle becomes the number 2 target. There's really not much there with Christian Kirk and Ricky Pearsall. For that, what do you want to get in my lap here, ladies and gentlemen? This is Ezra, and Ezra's going to make a little appearance here on the live stream. Say hi to the crowd. What's up? He's Ezra. He's going to sit on my lap for the duration of this, just to make my life a little bit more difficult. Joe Jacoby, just eating clock, buddy. Eating clock. I wonder, are you doing that so you're giving me more time to talk and get ready? I mean, if you are, that's fantastic of you. Very, very nice of you. One might think that is the nicest thing that you could have done. All right, look at that. All these quarterbacks off the board. Well, would you look at that? So cheat sheets pointing towards some wide receivers over here, and I will go and attack the wide receiver position. But I think if I want to make sure that I complete my stack, since I've got Loveland and I've got Burden, well, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the painted nails, Caleb Williams. And I'll tell you what I like about Caleb Williams is that what he showed last year is that when the game's on the line, he's the one who wants the ball, right? The replacements, Gene Hackman, right? Winners always want the ball. So Caleb Williams definitely showed that. And I was very, very, I was proud of him. I was. Oh, see, my dogs are saying it too. All right, my next pick here, the cheat sheet is telling me to go to none other than Mr. 4 years, $110 million. Really? It's telling me that I want some of Christian Watson. Where is he in this? Where is he in this whole thing? There he is. Well, he's all the way down at 109 here. So we'll see what this is all about. Maybe this is, maybe this isn't the right pick to make. But again, I'm using the cheat sheet and I'm loaded up there. I mean, listen, there's not a running back for another round or two, really. And I don't feel like everybody here and anybody here has gone so crazy heavy into the running backs that I feel the need to raise the value here. I'll continue to work this best ball. I mean, this is, without a doubt, this is a very high upside team. Omarion Hampton could go through the roof. He could also get hurt. or he could not do something, right? CeeDee Lamb, we know what he's all about. Colston Loveland in tight end premium. I think that's a nice move to make there. Travis Etienne, once he comes up and if he becomes that number one guy, if they get rid of Kamara, then I think that's, to the moon. Rashee Rice, Luther Burden, Christian Watson, these guys are all, big, high upside guys. I'm not going to say that they're, boom or bust, but, that's definitely what it is. I think Coop's going to absolutely love this team. I really think he is. Marvin Harrison and Parker Washington coming off the board here. Let me make sure that I knock these guys off. Boom. All right. Oh, Kenneth Gainwell. See, I love the Gainwell pick. I really do. Coop's got him a little further down on this cheat sheet, but Gainwell, nice pick, Diane. They got rid of Rashad. First off, it's Zach Robinson, who in Atlanta gave Bijan Robinson over 100 targets. He loves a big passing game. Yes, he's got more receivers, but he's also, he's not. He had Kyle Pitts in Atlanta. He's not going to look at Cade Otton in the same way. He's going to look at the wide receivers. He's going to look at the pass-catching running back. That ain't Bucky Irving. That's Kenneth Gainwell. They got rid of Rachaad White to bring in and pay more money to Kenneth Gainwell than what they would have had to have paid Rachaad White. So, to me, this is a very, very strong sign that Gainwell is going to be somebody you need to pay attention to and take a look at him. So he comes off the board here. I really like that pick. And let me start clearing out some of these wide receivers. There goes Carnell Tate. RJ Harvey off the board. Good job. George Kittle comes off the board. It's an interesting pick. Better bet. See what happens there. Alec Pierce off the board. I wish there weren't so many picks in between here. I love looking at what potential value I could end up getting. This is definitely, you're going to like this. Oh, you know what? I missed Sammy Laporta coming off the board. My bad. I dig that pick. I'm not afraid of the back surgery. I think he's going to be just fine. And I look at Sam Laporta as a guy where, who's taking over as the new offensive coordinator for Detroit. It's Drew Petzing, who just ran Arizona for the last, 3 seasons? Was there a tight end in Arizona who may have gotten a significant number of targets in Drew Petzing's system? I wonder. I'll let you guys mull that over for a moment while I cross off Mekhi Lemon and Jalen Warren. And who else? Michael Wilson. So that's an interesting situation in Arizona. You got Mike LaFleur turning around saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to handle the Devontae Adams role, and Michael Wilson's going to handle the Puka Nacua role. Just because those are the roles that you see does not necessarily mean the talent equates. Michael Wilson is not Puka Nacua. Michael Wilson is not going to put up those big-ass Puka Nacua numbers. First off, he just doesn't have the quarterback slinging them the rock the way he should. And second of all, he's really, I love Michael Wilson, I do, but he's just not as talented as Nacua is. And you know what? Devontae Adams, he plays that split end role really, really well. Mike Evans is a guy who plays that really, really well. Can Marvin Harrison do that? To me, he's not as physical as both Evans and as Evans can, Devontae Adams can be. So I think that's a very interesting thing to take a look at. But when he's saying that as far as their roles go, you have to understand what kind of route tree like a split end uses, whereas the slot flanker guy, what his route tree looks like, what usage looks like. It tells me that Michael Wilson's going to get, significant targets to help move the chains. And, those big passes deep and into the intermediate, those are going to end up going to Marvin Harrison Jr. But I'm not saying that, don't think that like Marvin Harrison Jr. suddenly is going to like lead the league in under 5-yard touchdown catches. I don't necessarily think that he's an auto lock. Maybe he sees the first look more often than not, but that doesn't really mean that he's definitely locked in there. All right, I'm slacking now, so I got to make sure that I catch up here. Trevor Lawrence and Jaden Daniels are both gone. Dun, dun, dun. Jordan Tyson is gone. Bum, bum, bum. Rico Dowdle, bye-bye. Godwin and Wandale. Godwin, gone. Wandale, gone. Oh, I'm on the clock here. Tucker Kraft is out. Ramondre is out. All right. I need a running back here. So the next guy up here is going to be none other than Mr. Tony Pollard. I will take him. Take a few moments here to take a look at my cheat sheet and see who is the next guy that I should go for. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, it is one more wide receiver here who I'm actually a really big fan of. I'm still stunned, beyond stunned that Christian Watson got the deal he did. Jaden Reed, man, they're giving him $53 million. Obviously, that is not even remotely what, it doesn't, I don't understand. I get it. Christian Watson's going to be your number one wide receiver. You're giving him the same. The contract is very similar to like Alec Pierce range, and so that's what Watson's getting. Do I think Watson deserves that? No, he hasn't shown us anything. Hasn't shown us that he can stay on the field. Hasn't had a 1,000-yard season, not even close. So, but that's going to be that role. Is Matthew Golden going to be the slot flanker guy, and then Jaden Reed becomes the slot? Is Jaden Reed just going to stay and work 65 to 70% of the snaps and that be it? That kind of bums me out a little bit. It definitely bums me out. So, I'm not hating on it. I thought we were going to get more out of Jaden Reed when they paid him. I really did. Maybe they still do. Maybe the Matthew Golden hype is garbage. Maybe they don't really think Tucker Kraft is going to be 100% when he comes back. So maybe that's what it is. But yeah, you secure Jaden Reed for that kind of dough, and then you overpay Watson. It's crazy to me. What do we got going on here? Who do we got? I don't drink the Kool-Aid's telling me to stop drinking the Kool-Aid on the Chargers. All right. There we go. Got some commentary in here. Just good to see everybody in the room. It's a fun group. I like it. You guys are good jobs there. I will Bender take my cuff. Who was that? That was Better Bent. And who was where? The cuff. I don't know. Cuff for Trevion Henderson, maybe? That didn't work out, did it? Ramondre goes a little sooner than you like, maybe. All right. Well, anyway, good to talk to you guys. Thanks so much for being here. And, listen, the Kool-Aid on the Chargers, it's a disciplined team with an amazing offensive line. And let's face it, Mike McDaniel is still a fantastic offensive coordinator. He's not a head coach. Wasn't ready for that. So, yes, I'm going to have the Chargers Kool-Aid mustache. That's what I'm going to have. So you guys are going to have to just deal with that. Deal with it. Let's see. Where are we going here? I should cross some names off. I'm looking for comments here on the channel. What do I got? Joe Jacoby was in here last week. In here again. Green Bay is more like receiver roulette, though. Any one of those guys can eat on any given week. It is 100% true, and it is best ball, and he is my fifth wide receiver. I don't hate that for a fifth wide receiver. What else we got? If you get one of the top 5 QBs, do wait on till real late for a second, or do you like two better QBs, then load them up on the no, in a single QB league. I mean, I assume that if I'm going to make an investment in a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson, that's going to be my primary QB. The other guy, I can use that more as a swing for the fences type situation, right? Like you take Lamar, I could wait all the way down to Tyler Shuck because he's going to have some big games where he throws for a ton of yards because the Saints are behind. So that's kind of the way that I would do it. I don't like grabbing like double tapping the position. I've seen a lot of people do that. Maybe in a super flex, but not here. Not here. All right, let's cross some more names off. Let's open up the proper channels here. If you guys could see, my 7th grade computer teacher would be so proud of what I've learned to accomplish over time. So proud. But let me cross off some names here. Justin Herbert off the board. Kyle Monangai is off the board. There he is. Make sure I'm doing this right. Some wide receivers. Sutton, Shaheed, and Myers. Beautiful. Shaheed and Myers. Wow. These guys are down here. Coop is not in on. Oh, there's Jacoby. There's Jacoby. Hey, buddy. All right. Oh, Likely off the board there. Better bent. I like that pick. I do like that pick, especially in tight end premium. I think he's going to see a boatload of targets. I do. Infamous Rashad White, Travis Kelce, and Jason Ferguson. Kelce. Fergie Ferg. Just making sure I'm Xing out all the names properly. There's a DK Metcalf. Sorry, I know this makes for like great radio and live stream and like not even like sitting up, so I'm like slumped over. Welcome to me. Welcome to Bender's world here. I'm just gonna slump over with my crappy posture and showing off just how gross I can be as I sit here and draft these teams. What names am I crossing off here? Where's Goff? Where is Goff? There he is. Cross him off. Metcalf, Dart, Bo Nix, and Brock Purdy. All right, so now the second QBs are coming off the board. Now they're coming off the board. Jackson Dart, Jordan Mason. So looking at the cheat sheet here, there goes Kyler Murray. Coop would have been over the moon had I gotten Kyler Murray. Yeah, all right. This is very interesting here. So now the question is what direction do I want to go? Joe Jacoby takes Matthew Stafford off the board. Joe Jacoby with his 3rd QB, putting me on the spot. I definitely want to make sure that I end up with a good second QB. And if I go by the way it's supposed to be here in the cheat sheet, then I'm going to take none other than Patty Mahomes. And I like that. Even if Mahomes misses the first couple of weeks of the season, Caleb Williams is locked in there for me. Okay, great. And then down the road, Pat Mahomes, for sure. And then here's the next guy on the board. I probably could take a running back here, but I don't really like any of the running backs sitting in this area. So I'm oh, yeah. Okay, good. So I'd rather go here and I'd take Josh Downs, who I like in this new role that he's going to have. If Alec Pierce is going to be, over there, I mean, you're looking at Josh Downs on the field for a huge number of snaps now. He's not just a slot receiver. He's going to be in that slot flanker role. I mean, unless, when they want, do they really want to go with like Nick Westbrook-Akine as like a deep threat there, or would they prefer to have somebody a little more versatile like Josh Downs? You never know where he's going. He could go, into the intermediate areas. He could go a little deeper, or he could stay underneath. With Nick Westbrook-Akine, you know where he's going. He's going down yonder. So I like Josh Downs in this new realm. Now I only have 3 running backs, and I only have 1 tight end right now in a tight end premium. But again, I've got my primaries here. I really do. So going through it, crossing off more names. I like the direction my team is in. I definitely like the direction that my team is in. I'm usually a little bit more of a running back guy, so it's always good to kind of switch up your builds and take a look at it from another perspective. That's always what I do. I'll every year in like some mock drafts, I'll always do a mock draft where I won't take any of the guys that I've usually taken. I won't take any favorites of mine. For one, I want to see where they realistically go if I'm not the one. Am I the guy who's like jacking up their ADP? Is it my fault? So I always kind of like to not take any of my guys, see where they fall in the draft and see, is that the right price? Okay, great. Or am I jumping by a round or two? So I always like to test that out. And, I kind of do that with these as well. And we're going to do some ADP tracking here in the off season. Been talking to our friends over here at RTSports and just getting the ADP down for just these drafts, the Beat Bender drafts. I think it's going to be fun. I think it'll help. Although, will that change the rules for people? Would you not be allowed to do? Is that giving away more information than maybe I should? I'll just ask that question. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. No doubt about it. All right, let's finish crossing off some more names here. Jordan Addison off the board. Michael Pittman off the board. Mark Andrews further down off the board. And I'm okay there. I'm definitely okay there. Listen, looking at the cheat sheet, looking at everybody who's available, I'm very, very happy with my team the way it looks. I really am. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I dig it. Baker Mayfield off the board. I would have been fine with him as well. I considered him instead of Patrick Mahomes. But again, I was just kind of going by the way these are all laid out and just see where the chips fall. I mean, had I had like Ibuka or Chris Godwin, well, then maybe I would have, tilted more towards Baker Mayfield. But I'm actually like, the Bears stack was done by accident. Like I was just kind of going through it here and it just happened to work that way. There was zero intent on that. But if I am going to stack a team, why the hell wouldn't I stack the Bears? Right? That's definitely like stacking Ben Johnson offense. It's really, really good. So, Mahomes, yeah, could I find, oh, no, never mind. Xavier Worthy off the board to Brent Campbell. Brent, you, buddy, guy, chief, what you doing? But I mean, yeah, listen, I could pair Mahomes up with, I don't know, Tyquan Thornton later if I really wanted to. You know what? Let's say that since I got a couple of minutes here, I can I'll cross off Romeo Doubs' name. But then, sitting there and thinking back, if you guys watched last week's live stream last Wednesday, Joe Jacoby, who's last year's winner, he joined me on the show and we kind of talked about, certain strategies and stuff like that. And it just hit me. I was like, do I need to look at Joe's team here and see who is, what was the last game is Packers against who? Can't remember now. I should know it by heart at this point, like duh, but for some reason it is just eluding me really quick. Let's see, Packers. It's the Texans. Yeah, that's the game that you want to look at. Week 17. So it's Texans. So it's a little Nico Collins and some Green Bay Packers. So let me see Joe's team here. Do I see any? No. Joe, what happened to your strategy, buddy? You got no pack? At least I got Jaden Reed. Oh, jeez, I have Christian Watson. Jesus, how the hell did that happen? I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, and look at that. And Timmy Football grabs Jordan Love, so I can't even stack him now. Timmy, what are you doing to me, buddy? Come on. Why did I open up my mouth? Why did I even say it? And it's his third QB too. If I didn't say anything, Timmy, are you in the chat in the league? If you're in the chat in the league somewhere, I need to know. Timmy, why? Brent, you suck for taking Chigakonkwo. You can eat it too. Yeah, now all of a sudden, see, this is what happens when I do these drafts. I start to like you guys, and then you turn on me. Then you do this kind of nonsense. You snipe on all my picks, every single one of them. Y'all hurting my feelings now. I just got to cross off names on the list. Dang it. You know what? I should have taken Jordan Love over Patrick Mahomes. I 100% should have done that. So that's on me. It's not you sniping me, Timmy. It's me giving them up to you. That's the problem. Damn. Now I got to figure out where I want to go. Where do I want to go? This is just, it's derailed me. I do need to go to the running back spot here. Corum, Aaron Jones off the board. That's fine. I think this is putting me towards Krosky Merritt. So I guess I'm going to invest a little bit into the backfield there. So then once there's that, I mean, technically I could just handcuff these two and take Chris Rodriguez as well, because that's actually the next name on the board. So I'm sure that somebody's going to say that it caps your upside. Oh, wait, what am I saying? Rodriguez isn't there anymore. He's in Jacksonville. Oh, Bender, so thrown here. You're so thrown. I'm going to take him anyway and just lock down another guy. I'm so thrown. I should have taken a tight end there, but Conquo's off the board. Kincaid's off the board. You know what it was? I got smug, started cracking on Joe's team, and him not having any Packers, and him not having any Texans, and I've done myself in. I've done this to myself. Bender. This team could have won the $10,000, would have won the $10,000 if and only if I actually made that move. Alas, I guess, you guys out there can think, okay, well, we're in a really good spot right now because Bender really botched the tail end of this draft trying to talk smack, and he blew it. Just still crossing off names here. Just being all sad about the world. Round 14, people. Round 14. I guess I got to move some names around here. Damn. Everybody's moving too fast for me here. Okonkwo's off the board. Kincaid is off the board. Just going through it. Kenyon Sadiq. I'm just running through the positions here just so I can make sure that I do it properly. Coleman and Tracy and Pacheco. Jonah Coleman. Jesus, he is far down in this list. There he is. All right. Jalen Naylor, Khalil Shakir. Higgins. I thought I saw another name, but I guess not. And I'm definitely not going to say the player's name that I'm looking for. You guys are just going to pounce on that. Pounce on it. All right. I think I'm caught up. I'm just crossing this dude's name off because I'm not even remotely interested in him. All right. I think I'm caught up. I think I've internally reset from that crazy moment there. Little mini, I don't know, mini crash out. Let's see. Did anybody respond to me in the chat? As I look through, nope, no response there. What about comments over here? Got it. Little QB run. A lot of mouths to feed in Denver. All right. I got some good comments there. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Oh, man. That was too funny. A little mini out of body experience there. Trying to get through all of that. Let me keep crossing names off. I don't know what I'd be doing if I didn't have the cheat sheet in front of me. I'd be completely lost at this point. There you go. That's the lesson right there. Pay attention to your team while you're doing this. I guess, it's tough when you're broadcasting and you're looking at everything and trying to do it all in one fell swoop. But, I should not have missed that. When I was taking Patrick Mahomes, I knew I was taking a QB there. I knew it was a little QB run. And I probably should have taken Jordan Love there just to secure that Green Bay stack. And that Green Bay stack at home against the Texans in an all-important final week of the tournament, that's a missed opportunity right there. So, there's lesson learned. How about that? Definitely a lesson learned. Can't be drafting all of these and broadcasting all of these. Dallas Goedert off the board. I do need more in the tight end realm there. I don't want to reach. This is an interesting spot here. Do I take another wide receiver or do I take a third QB who has some really, really high upside potential, just for some games? I think that it's worth taking a look here. Mahomes is 5, Caleb Williams is 10, and that means that where is he? Oh, he's off the board already. Uh-oh. Wide receiver. Let's see. Did I get it in time? I did get it in time. Omar Cooper. I didn't really want Omar Cooper, and he kind of doesn't really fit with where I wanted to go. I mean, he's right there in that range, so it's not the worst pick in the world. But I guess I missed a name not being crossed off on the quarterback side. So there we go. All right, I think now I can at least go and explore the tight end room here and see where I want to go and see who I like. Now I could do, there you go, with the Chargers, right? I could go with a little David Njoku. I think that kind of makes the most sense for me here. At this point, get another tight end here, a guy like Njoku. We'll see what happens between him and Rondé Gadsden, and we'll just kind of let the chips fall where they may. I will need to grab probably another tight end just to make sure that I keep myself covered. Definitely. All right. Go swing around through the comments again. Anybody? Anyone? Bueller. Let's see. What do I got? Let's go to all of these comments. Here we go. What was I looking at over here? If you get one on the top, yeah, okay. And asked and answered, beautiful, beautiful. Yep, Joe told me it was the Texans. Little Daniels, little Chig, little White Stack. There you go. Commanders. Let's see. Spoke too soon. Higgins all day in round 14. Yeah. Yeah, that is a fantastic call. Fantastic call. All that happened. I was kind of blacked out at that point, right? Remember that scene in Old School where Will Ferrell just he does the whole debate thing? That's kind of what it felt like over here. Holy cow. Do we think Brandon Ayuk plays? And if so, does he end up with Washington? I don't know. I'm hearing things that the injury, that the knee is not good. And that's one of the things that's going on, It was a lot worse than expected. The rehab didn't go as well. And so I think that's a big sticking point here somewhere. I have no idea where he ends up. I think he's also, isn't he dealing with some sort of like legal thing now also? Where was it? I remember seeing, let's see. I'm trying to remember where it was that I saw the info. Forgive me, I'm scrolling through a timeline here. I just want to make sure I'm giving at least the accurate information. I should be looking in the chat. Jeez, I tweet a lot. Somebody should tell me to shut the hell up. Oh, yeah, there you go. There was a warrant for Brandon Ayuk's arrest here in Northern California. Here. No, I'm in Alaska now. Here in Northern California, where I used to live, there's apparently a warrant out for Brandon Ayuk. I don't know. I don't know what we do with this guy. I don't think that anybody really wants to deal with him. So I don't know. I wish I had the answer for you, but I really don't. I make sure I take down that comment this time, and I don't just leave it up throughout the entire thing. Oh, speeding that he posted to his social media accounts. Oh, is that what it was? Thank you, pull in front. All right, so nothing major there. I still have heard that the knee is not in great shape, and that's a big problem that everybody has. Got to get rid of all these names so I can actually make the right call here. Get all these quarterbacks going. I don't have a third. Oh, no. Bryce Young. Oof, it gets ugly. It gets ugly down there. I don't even know. Somewhere here I just stopped crossing off names. Not good form here. This is what happens. This is why you got to remain focused. You got to remain focused. In all honesty, in all of my like primary drafts, like every draft there's zero chance that I would be live streaming. It used to drive me nuts when they would have me broadcast the FSGA draft, where you could get relegated if your team sucks and you finish in the bottom three. And they're like, they always want me to broadcast the draft. I'm like, you don't understand that it is not easy, and I don't get to focus like I really want to during a broadcast. So, like, we just saw it here. It was the prime example of what we just saw. We just saw it, people, of what happens when you lose your focus and you screw everything up. Every bit of it. It's coming on to me soon. I'm trying to cross off some of these running back names that I see here: Wilson, Braylon Allen, Charbonnet. I don't even see him here. Oh, there's Braylon Allen. There he is. Hawkinson and Schultz are gone. Eli Stowers is gone. Debo Samuel and Jalen McMillan. Coker went. I saw that. Did this guy go? There's Debo. Let me see. Yeah, he went. All right, so I didn't cross him off. So where am I going here? There we go. This one's for Andrew Cooper. I know you're going to love it. A little Greg Dulcich. We're going there. And then what does his next pick say? His next pick says to do this. This is spicy. I don't hate it. This is a definite upside pick at the tail end, little Travis Hunter, right? I mean, even if he plays the same role that he played last year, I don't know, can he, have a big game? That's the thing. Like when you're sitting here, I mean, in a best ball, it's receiver roulette. Anybody can have like a random game and it does well for you. If I'm sitting here, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's my 8th wide receiver. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. To me, it is definitely a no-brainer. And I'm okay with that. What do I got? I got that guy. Oh, where are we going? Well, good draft, everybody. Thank you very much. And for those of you who are sitting here all tuned in, thanks so much for your comments and all sorts of stuff there. Pulling Front wants to know, what have I heard about Mixon? I haven't heard anything about Mixon. It's ridiculous, right? I haven't heard anything about Mixon. And you would think that, I mean, I don't think Mixon commands huge money anymore, but I'm surprised that we didn't hear anything like, about a potential that Green Bay would have some concerns. Like the reason that I'm not like freaking out about the Josh Jacobs stuff and I'm still fine drafting him where he's going. I mean, he's not my favorite because there's just a lot of tread worn off on those tires. But, the Packers not moving on somebody because you would have heard at least something like, Najee Harris's people were talking to the Green Bay Packers. That kind of crap leaks out all the time. So the fact that I haven't heard anything about Mixon kind of speaks for itself. All right. Dude, this was a good draft. Again, with the exception of that one, gonna kick myself up because I'll tell you what, man, this had I gone with Jordan Love instead of Patrick Mahomes, or had I just gone with I didn't wait on Love. Maybe I took him. I couldn't have. I would have had to have taken him instead of Mahomes or double tap the QB position. I was probably better off doing that. What I probably should have done was I probably should have taken Love there. And because I'm not like a huge Jordan Love fan, maybe take a third QB a little earlier. In the realm of if I could take back one move, what would it be? I think that's fair to say. I'm going to have to write this down because I'm never going to remember this for tomorrow's shows. I guess I'm going to have to just go back and rewatch this. And, again, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, first off, thank you. If you could hit the like button, right? And maybe even subscribe to the you know RealTime Fantasy Sports channel. I'd be very appreciative of it. The like button, that makes me look good. The subscribe button, that increasing, makes me look even better. So I would very much appreciate that. And again, we're going to continue to do these. I'm thinking about doing them on Thursday nights regularly. I was doing them on Wednesdays. But I was thinking that Thursday night might be a nice night for this. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. You think Thursday nights are better for this? Wednesday nights? You don't care? I try to do them at the same days. That way you guys know that if you are interested in doing one of these, being, and maybe even being part of the broadcast like Joe was last time, that, you know that the regular time, the day and time that it's on. That's all. I'm a creature of habit. That's what it comes down to. I'm a creature of habit. I like having a nice set schedule. Makes me feel secure. I know I've got to do something on a particular day. It does make me feel a little bit better. All right. I should be paying attention and crossing off names, which I have not. I'm just going to have to, I guess, wing it the final step of the way here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't need any more running backs. I think I can definitely dive into either another tight end or wide receiver. So let's see. As I broadcast my move here before you guys start taking your guys. Ooh, Darnell Washington. He's looking pretty good, isn't he? All right, very interesting. Look at the quarterbacks who are left. I find this very, very interesting. So, good pick on Zachariah Branch. I like that a lot. So there are a couple of different ways you could go here with a third QB, right? Do you think Geno Smith plays the rest of the way? Do you think Michael Penix takes the job over? Do you take Tua because he runs with it? Do you take Deshaun Watson because he runs with it? Kirk Cousins, I know, is starting the season, right, as the quarterback of the Raiders, and Pat Mahomes has a week 5 bye. So I know I'm going to have Kirk Cousins there still, playing at the same time. So I'm very much into that. I think that's a very, very good spot for me there. Now, the next player I got to take, trying to see who there is like a big upside kind of a play. Zachariah Branch. I guess Stribling is that guy that is in the cheat sheet. So might as well just make it Stribling. He's part of the cheat sheet there as well. And that wraps up my draft. And I got to tell you, as the final picks are being made, I am, with the exception of that one moment, I love this team, right? Hampton, Lamb, Loveland, right? I do that Bears stack with Loveland, Luther Burden, and Caleb Williams. Solid running backs in Hampton, Etienne, Tony Pollard, Krosky Merritt, and Chris Rodriguez. So, I'm very well covered over there. And you know what? I take some really good upside guys in the tight end spot in Njoku, who could be big over there. Greg Dulcich, God bless him, right? That dude is he's like the number 2 target in Miami. Malik Willis may not know how to throw, but he's gonna have to at some point. And I mean, somebody's getting those targets. So Dulcich becomes interesting on that front. And then you know what? The wide receiver crew is great. I mean, listen, having both Reed and Watson it's just going to keep gnawing at me. Maybe at some point I'll get over it. I don't really know, but I really dig this team. This is a really nice team. And had I been paying attention in that one moment, this would have been a near perfect draft. So I'll be talking about this draft here as we wrap up this final round. I'll be talking about it with Andrew Cooper on tomorrow's show. the Fantasy Alarm Show on Sirius XM. Again, if you guys are watching this and you've never signed up over at RealTime Fantasy Sports, RTSports.com/Bender, you can jump into one of these best ball drafts, the Beat Howard Bender ones. They've got all sorts of great stuff. Just go to Money Leagues under the football tab and look at all the different ones. I mean, there's the Fantasy Championships, there's the Best Ball Championship, the Beat Howard Bender Championship. All the contests that they have over here at rtsports.com are absolutely fantastic. And you'll find me in all of them. I've got teams all over the place here. So if you guys just want to join, if you've never deposited over there, it's rtsports.com/Bender. And what that'll do is when you make your first deposit, they'll give you a 50% match up to $500. We're going to be doing pick'em contests all throughout the and pick'em games all throughout the entire season. We're going to be doing more of these best ball drafts here on the channel. This year, I think the weekly Bender might just turn into a weekly show like this. I'm thinking about bringing on a whole bunch of great guests, some of RT Sports' finest, some of the top players out there, past winners, and I think we just kind of run it like a nice little talk show while giving all sorts of snarky fantasy advice, because that's kind of what the weekly Bender's all about. But as we wrap up here, Mr. Irrelevant for this draft, the final pick is about to be made. I will just say thank you again for everybody tuning in. Really appreciate you being here. And see, I'm covering up the image. You can't see it, but if you want to see it, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that either. Look at that. I just lost it. I broke it. Mr. Irrelevant, Jack Besh. There it is. Oh, man. How legendary would it be for Bender to take this down? It would be amazing. It would be absolutely. If it was Jordan Love, I would have. If it was, I would have. But alas, we'll just see what happens. Who knows? Maybe it was a blessing in disguise. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, thank you everybody so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Joe Jacoby, yeah, let's do it again. Absolutely. Leak a little bit more strategies. It's so tough, right? Just telling people everywhere you're going. So, but that is going to do it for us here. Very much appreciate you guys joining us once again. I will catch up with everybody next week. So, yeah, that's right. I'm Howard Bender. This has been an RT Sports production. We'll catch you next time.